Punjabrao allied Bhausaheb Deshmukh, and I pay my homage, humble tribute to Matoshree Vimalabai Deshmukh. Today is the seventh day of organizing the 10 days online national workshop on research methodology course sponsored by Indian Council of Social Science Research, Western Regional Center, Mumbai from 20 January to 29 January 2014 by Matoshree Vimalabai Deshmukh Mahavidyalaya, Amravati. Now I welcome the chairperson of this session, Dr. Mahendra P. Dhore sir, co-opted member of Shri Shivaji Education Society, Amravati, and principal of Shri Shivaji Science College, Nagpur. It's my privilege to introduce Dr. M.P. Dhore sir, having a dynamic personality. He is the professor and principal of Shri Shivaji Education Society, Shri Shivaji Science College, Congress Nagar, Nagpur. He is a well-known researcher. He is belonging to Department of Electronics and Computer Science.
Really,
He has done his MSc in Computer Science from Amravati University in 1995, and he had done the MPhil from Algappa University in 2009 and PhD in 2011. He has the teaching experience more than 25 years in UG and PG level. His area of interest is theoretical computer science, compiler construction, computer graphics, natural language processing, documentation, image analysis, digital image processing, data mining, mobile computing, big data analytical, and cloud computing. He is the research guide, and the 5 students awarded the PhD from his guidance. Now the 3 students are working under his PhD guidance. He has the research projects also completed 1 major research project and completed 1 minor research project. He has also awarded the recognition and awards and recognition, that is, he received the teacher fellowship by the University Grant Commission, New Delhi, under the Faculty Development Program, New Delhi. Also, he received the Best Teacher Award from the College of Science College, Congress Nagar, Nagpur, from the session 2012 and 13. Also, he published his paper, that is the 41 international papers in international journal, 8 papers in proceeding and of international conference and seminar, and 19 papers in the proceedings of national conference and seminar. He published the papers in international journals of computing science, International Journal of Computer and Mathematics, International Journal of Computer Engineering, International Journals of Electronics, Communication and Soft Computing Science. He is also having the professional membership. He is a member of IEEE, Computer Society of IEE, IAENG, IACSIT, IETE, and ISCA. Welcome, sir, in this 7th day of workshop in the first session. Now, I welcome resource person. Today's resource person, that is Dr. Aarti Devi from Hemavati, Nandan, Bahuguna, Gharwal University, Uttarakhand. Also, it's my opportunity to introduce today's first session case speaker, that is Dr. Aarti Devi, is belonging to Union Territory, Jammu and Kashmir, India. Her area of research is heritage studies. She has done the PhD with a research topic, a historical study of forts and places of Jammu with reference to Dogra rule. She done her master degree in history in Hemavati Nandan Bahuguna Gharwal University, a central university, Uttarakhand. He is a Jammu and Kashmir state qualified in 2023. She is also NET qualified in 2023. He published his research articles in peer-reviewed journals, UGC care listed journals, published the book chapters, and presented the paper in conference and seminars. Again, I welcome to all heartily. Now I request today's
Yes,
session.
thank you so much, Bambol sir. Really,
Aarti Devi.
Bambol sir, thank
Yes,
you so much for the introduction. And I welcome from bottom of my heart Dore sir and madam also. Happy Republican Day to one and all. And really, I welcome both of you. Thank you. Thank you so much. You can continue.
Now I request today's session guest speaker, Dr. Aarti Devi, to deliver her speech on the topic research ethics.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. First of all, Happy Republic Day to all of you. Thank you so much, sir, for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, may I share my screen?
Yes, you can share your screen, madam. You are the co-host now.
So, our today's topic is research ethics. We'll start by understanding ethical conduct in research. So, introduction to the research ethics. First of all, I would like to give introduction. So, ethics are the moral principle that govern a person's behavior. Research ethics may be referred to as doing what is morally and legally right in research. They are actually norms for conduct that distinguish between right and wrong, and acceptable and unacceptable behavior. According to the Research Excellence Framework 2014, research is a process of investigation leading to new insights, effectively shared. Research is a multi-stage process. Ethics are the central to the research process. Researchers need to take care of various ethical issues at different level of this process. The reality is there can be ethical concern at every step of the research process. Even though few aspects of research ethics have been set out in legislation, moral values mostly govern the conduct of research. Ethical considerations have been gaining paramount importance across the research community. With an increase in the public concern about the limits of inquiry and legislative changes in the human rights and data protection, the ethical considerations have come to the forefront in social research. With the advent of technology, more and more ethical issues have been raising in the field of research. Despite dealing mostly with human and animals participants, different branches of social sciences deal with the different techniques and ethical issues. Besides, decision to be informed by shared values and experiences. Ethical guidelines may be enable the researchers' individual ethical judgments in addition to the professional ethics. Being one of the most diverse country in the world, researchers in India have to work within a variety of cultural, political, economic, and religious setting. Researchers must possess adequate knowledge regarding the characteristics of ethical problem in social research or any type of research, apart from the general ethical issues. The research process and ethics highlight the multi-stage nature of research, and here I will discuss the prevalence of ethical concern at each step. The studies dealing with personal data are considered most sensitive in nature. According to Resnick, research ethics are the common denominator for the researcher relations with respondents and colleagues. Researchers are themselves responsible for the ethical conduct of their research. They have to take care of all the ethical issues at every stage of the research process. The material available on the internet also gives rise to a number of ethical issues. According to Jensen, this is a part of because the status of computer mediated communication as a social context on the scale from the public to private is unresolved. Depth, the strength of qualitative research also poses a serious issues for the ethics of research. Many universities across the world have drafted their own ethics policy governing research involving human and animal participants. Apart from that, a good number of the researchers and institutions follow social research associations ethical guidelines, first drafted in 1980s with a revised draft in 2003. The researchers have to take care of various obligations during the research process. They must ensure that their research is conducted with honesty, objectivity, and integrity. The researcher must seek consent from the participants for their participation. They must respect people, their culture, values, religions, economic status, and so on. Researchers have an obligation to take care of the confidentiality and personal information or identity of the participants as per her choice. Researchers should avoid experiments which may pose a threat to both the participants and the researchers themselves. Apart from the participants, the researcher has also an obligation towards society, her colleagues, or other researchers and funders of the project. So, ethos. Ethical ethos, researchers have to take the responsibility for the ethical conduct of their own research. In simple terms, we can say ethics are researcher responsibility. First and the foremost responsibility of a research is to take care of safety, dignity, rights, and well-being of the participants. Researchers have to take care of various other issues at different stages of the research process. Both the researcher and participants have an important role to play. One's right are the other's obligations. Researchers have to take care of the participants' right and must consider their research from participants' perspective. According to the University of Sheffield, the principal concern to take care of in research involving human participants, personal data, and human issues is respect for the participants' dignity, rights, safety, and well being. Further, as per the university, all the ethical issues encountered at various stages of research process may be taken care at two major levels. Participants' right to confidentiality, safety, and security. The participants have the exclusive right to give consent to participate, withdraw from, or refuse to take part in research projects. Participants have a right to seek confidentiality and stop personal information or sharing. They have right to seek their safety and security. Whenever required, the data should be kept secure and participants should not be exposed to unnecessary or disappropriate level of risk. The research ethics. In research study, researcher and the participants are the two variable which plays a crucial role in every kind of research study. Conducting ethically research is a public trust. So researcher must fully understand the theories and policies designed to guarantee upstanding research practices. Different type of research method need a different set of ethical guidelines. To make it easy to understand, we will divide it in two groups: research participant ethics and general ethics. We'll enlist different ethical issues here arising at various stages of research process. The researcher has a primary responsibility towards the participant and other researchers. So first is informed consent is the primary responsibility of the researcher. A standard procedure in the professional code of ethics is informed consent. Seek consent for the participation from people. In the case of children and few other exceptional cases, the informed consent of participants as well as their guardian must be obtained. The researcher must reveal all the risk during their study. Researcher to the participants should highlight all the negative and positive aspects of the research during the consent process. Aim and objective of the nature of research topic should be clearly highlighted. And participant must be given an option of rejecting data gathering devices like camcorders, audio recorders, etc. And the next is researchers are expected to consider ethical implication of their research. And while conducting the research study, it is also important to uphold the ethical standards in the research process. The researcher must accept and respect the principle of integrity, honesty, objectivity, and openness. The next is the knowledge gap between the researcher and the participants must be considered. And the second is the privacy, anonymity, and confidentiality of the participants and data must be given due consideration. As professional guidelines and some form of cultural consciousness are still being negotiated, research projects need to be considered carefully issues of anonymity, confidentiality, and informed consent. It is also the responsibility of the researchers to protect participants from the risk arising from their research. In the research study, the researcher should protect and promote the right and interest of the participants. And the researcher also need to take care of their own safety while conducting their research study. He or she must take care of cultural, religious, economic, psychological, spiritual, biological, political, social, and other issues of the participants. Because as we know, in a social science, need to we need to highlight all the elements like we belongs to the particular area because we are human and we can't free from biasness, so we need to all the take care of all these elements while doing our research study. So now we come to the general ethics. There are some specific guidelines for the researchers, avoiding plagiarism, fabrication, and falsification, ensuring transparency, accountability, and adhere to regulations. Um, the researcher need to take care of various other ethical issues at different stage of research process, which I will discuss here, as some topics are controversial in their nature, so it becomes a primary duty of the researcher to check whether the topic to be studied has innate ethical ramifications. Thus, before finalizing the topic, the ethical implication of the topic must be given a thought. Ethics play a paramount role in the studies involving direct human contact. So the effect of research on subject must be given due consideration. Harmful research should be avoided in this context. So researchers conducting studies involving human subject should clearly describe and justify the research protocol in their research design. Avoiding any kind of fabrication, falsification, and misinterpretation of data or result, which is nowadays many young researchers do this. It should not be done. Don't indulge in the manipulation of images or videos or other forms of illustrated work. The researcher should report the data honestly. Research misconduct is like a sin and it should be avoided. The author should also retain the raw data as they may be asked for the data at the time of their editorial review. And the next is act sincerely and don't break promises. Avoid discrimination on the basis of demography or any other condition. So everyone should be indiscriminate on the basis of their culture, reporting or demography. So it must be taken care of during their study, and carelessness and negligence must be avoided while doing the research study. The researchers should be critical of their own work and must keep a record of things, be open to criticism. Both the humans and animal must be handled carefully in the any kind of research experiment. Both negative as well as positive findings revealed during the course of research should be reported. Ensure transparency and accountability in all the research activities. It is also a crucial part of the research study. So people who anyhow help the researcher in conducting the research must be properly acknowledged. And nowadays, as I already mentioned, most of the young researchers send the same manuscript to different reviewers or publications at the same time. It's unethical. Avoid such practices. Resubmitting an already published research paper or article with minor changes or under a different title to a journal violates international copyright laws. Ethical conduct, and cost effective use of resources. The final report must be clearly declare the sponsor of the study, institutional affiliation, and conflicts of interest. The finding of the research must be discriminated in an easily understandable report. Ethics committees in India. Lack of research ethics committee in India, Indian university, as we noticed, we don't have any proper guidelines in our universities regarding ethical issues. Importance of establishing committees at departmental or faculty levels. We'll discuss here. Ethical issues in India, mostly matter of research ethics, differ from method to method. Most importantly, ethics also vary from place to place. For example, a Christian lady in white indicates a bride, while a Hindu lady in white indicates a widow. In most of the cases, cultures in India varies, as we all know. India is a diverse country, and from state to state, um, have a variety of culture, and even from city to city. So researchers should have a depth knowledge of cultures and other things of the place they are working in. During the study, Indian researchers should give utmost importance to the cultural diversity and religiosity of the country. They must work within a framework suitable for all the customs, traditions, languages, caste, creeds, colors, classes, regions, etc. They must work for the promotion of all the culture, religions, etc., not the other way around. During the research, the researchers must keep in mind the wide economical knowledge and technological gap between the people of India. Ethics committees. Indian university lack in making of research ethics committees. Researchers have no other option but to rely on their own common sense to eliminate and minimize various crucial ethical issues. Therefore, need for a common policy or a common framework both at domestic as well as national level, assisting researchers in addressing the ethical issues is a cardinal. Keeping in mind the aforementioned concern, following suggestion may be fruitful. Here I mentioned some suggestion. As there is a difference in nature of issues arising in various method of research, all the university in India must be equipped with the research ethics committees at the department level or faculty level. Recommendation for ethical committees. Research protocols may be submitted to such committees for consideration, guidance, improvement, and approval before the commencement of study. The second is these committees may help to promote the awareness regarding to do's and don'ts of the research. The committees may act as the mediators and advisors in disputed cases. In the ethical issues have shown an increase with an advent in technology as witnessed, these committees may provide advice on all such matters. So such ethical committees may encourage on organizational research culture based upon defensible standard of research practices. These committees must be committed to high quality, transparent, and accountable research ethics throughout the country. So the committees may also monitor the progress of the ongoing studies. And on the other side, the researcher may also update the committees regarding the events and issues and status of their research. At last, a copy of thesis or research paper may should also be submitted for the puzzle of these committees. So, global perspective on the research ethics. Here we will discuss a short global perspective. So, if we go through the history of research ethics guidelines, there were no such evidence for the proper guidelines or set of rules in the field of research ethics before the World War II. For the first time, the most important declarations of Helsinki and Nuremberg Code were set up for the World War II after the World War II. Okay, the Nuremberg Code is set of research ethics principle for human experimentation set as a result of the subsequent Nuremberg trials at the end of the Second World War. No ethical guideline for research existed in the major Allied countries before Nuremberg Code. So Nuremberg Code includes some basic principle, which is voluntary human consent is essential in conducting any research experiment. And the second is experimental results should be result in good for society. And the third is anticipated results should justify the experimental study. In research study, in any kind of experiment, we should avoid all the unnecessarily physical and mental suffering. Number could also focus on no experiment if there is a chance of death, and it also focus that minimize risk of subjects, proper preparations and facilities to the project subject. And the next is experiments conducted only by qualified persons. It also instructs that subject can be withdrawn at any time where it is needed. Terminate experiments if results are known or with best judgments. And the second is Declaration of Helsinki in 1961. Public opinion around the world was shocked by the Thalidomide scandal. 2,000 children died and 10,000 children were seriously disabled. Government authorities were then required to take action and make regulatory arrangements to oversee the testing of medicines. In 1964, the World Medical Association developed and indeed continues to review and adapt the Declaration of Helsinki as a guide for performing research in human beings. Declaration of Helsinki have a basic principle for the research ethics to conform to accepted scientific principle, designed formulated in experimental protocol, conducted by qualified and trained person. Any importance, it also give importance to the proportion to train to inherent risk and assessment of risk versus benefits in research experiment. Safeguard of subject integrity, it is also crucial and important principle of this declaration. Abstain unless hazards are predictable, should be avoided, and preserve accuracy when publishing. It is also an important part of this declaration, which every researcher needs to give a importance to accuracy in their while publishing their manuscripts. So or results, adequately informed to right to withdraw and obtain true informed consent in their writing. As a global perspective on research ethics involves the development and implementation of ethical guidelines and policies by universities and the research organization worldwide. Many universities organize the importance of establishing ethical standards to govern research activities and protect the right and well-being of participants. Universities often draft comprehensive ethical policies that outline the principle and standards research must adhere to when conducting their studies. These policies typically cover issues such as informed consent, confidentiality, data management, and the proper treatment of human and animal subjects in research. The goal is to ensure that research is conducted with integrity, transparency, and respect for ethical principles. In addition to individual university policies, various professional associations and organizations play a crucial role in shaping research ethics guidelines. The Social Research Association is one such entity that provides ethical guidelines for social researchers. These guidelines help researchers navigate ethical challenges specific to the social sciences, promoting responsible to the ethical research practices within this field. American Psychological Association and many others working rigorously in this field. and researchers are expected to be aware and comply with the both institutional and professional ethical guidelines to uphold the highest standard of research integrity. This global perspective on the research ethics emphasizes the importance of a unified commitment to ethical conduct in research, fostering truth in the scientific community, and ensuring the responsible advancement of knowledge. In the summary of this presentation, in this discussion, we try to highlight all the research ethics, importance of research ethics in research study, and emphasizing the researcher's responsibility for the safety, dignity, rights, and well-being of participants. The researcher are obligated to conduct research with honesty, objectivity, and integrity, respecting cultural diversity and ensuring confidentiality. Participants have exclusively rights to consent, confidentiality, safety, and security. The research participant ethics distinguish between informed consent, risk, privacy, and other consideration. Here, I would like to now conclude this discussion. I would say the paramount importance of ethical conduct in research, guiding researchers from the initial stage of planning to the dissemination of findings. It is the dual responsibility of researchers and participants, with a focus on respecting rights and ensuring the well-being of all involved parties. The need for clear guidance both at the global and local level is evident, and the establishment of research ethics committees in Indian university is proposed as a significant step toward addressing and minimizing ethical issues. Following the proper research ethics guidelines, the research study can encourages a culture of transparency, accountability, and adherence to ethical principles, and contribute to overall the integrity and credibility of the research endeavors. Okay, that's all about. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Aarti ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
You
Thank
have
you,
explained. You have explained in details about the research ethics.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And enlighten us about the fundamental ethical principles to research activities, which include the design and implementation of the research, respect towards the society and others, and the use of resources and research outputs, scientific misconduct, and the regulation of the research. You also explain the importance to adhere the ethical norms in research. These norms promote the aim of research, such as prohibition against fabricating, falsification, or misrepresenting the research data, which promotes the truth and minimize the error. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir.
Now I invite today's President, Dr. Mahendra Dhore sir, co-opted member of Shri Shivaji Education Society Amravati and the Principal Shri Shivaji Science College Nagpur, to deliver his presidential speech. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Sir, welcome, sir. Namaste. Happy Republic Day, sir.
Thank you.
Yes.
Firstly, I pay my homage to the founder of Shri Shivaji Education Society, Dr. Panjabrao Alais Bhausaheb Deshmukh, who was the first Union Agriculture Minister of India in the government led by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Fortunately, this year we are celebrating our Bhausaheb's 125th birth anniversary. In this 10 days online national workshop on research methodology course sponsored by ICSSR Eastern Regional Center Mumbai, organized by the Internal Quality Assurance Cell of Matoshree Vimalabai Deshmukh Mahavidyalaya, Amravati. Today is 7th day of this workshop, and today's resource person for this workshop, Dr. Aarti Devi Madam from Hemavati Nandan Bahuguna, Gharwal University, Uttarakhand, virtually present in this webinar, Principal of Matoshree Vimalabai Deshmukh College, Madam Smita Deshmukh. She is also organizer of this workshop. Convener of the workshop, Professor Devidas Bambole. Co-convener, Dr. Nandan Andurkar Madam. All the faculty members and all the researchers who are present online in this webinar. Firstly, I must congratulate you all and wish you all the best for the 75th Republic Day, which we are observing today. All the best wishes for the 75th Republic Day to you all. At the outset, I must congratulate the organizers for organizing such a long 10 days workshop on research methodology, which is very much useful for the researchers, especially from the field of social sciences. And I know that during these 10 days, various resource persons across the nation have been invited to deliver and interact with the research scholars. For that, I must congratulate Madam Smita Deshmukh for giving the new researchers the platform to interact with the stalwarts across the nation. Today, our resource person, Madam Aarti Devi, delivered a talk on research ethics. Madam, you have really delivered a nice talk, which was lucid in manner and was very much informative from the participants' point of view. Basically, you have covered the deliberations from the social science point of view, the research which is being carried out in social sciences. And as far as the topic is concerned, the topic is of utmost importance from the researchers as well as the supervisors' point of view. When we talk of research, at the end of the day, one expects that the output of the research should be leading to the societal benefit. And it is quite obvious that the researches which are going on in our country are obviously made for the societal benefit. Now, as a part of research, at the end of the day, what we come out with is the intellectual property. And that intellectual property belongs to particular individual, particular institution, particular nation. So with this type of ethical practices that we follow in our research, ultimately what we are doing is we are generating our IPRs, and IPRs for ourselves, IPRs for the nation. Madam Aarti Devi has covered all the ethical principles ranging from honesty, objectivity, integrity, carefulness, openness, transparency, accountability, confidentiality, and most importantly, responsible publications and responsible mentoring also, and social responsibility, and the most importantly, the observance of non-discrimination. She has also talked of the fact that cultural diversity in our nation should be respected with the researches in social sciences. At the same time, I would like to add whatever IPRs we are generating for ourselves, for our nation, in the form of copyrights, patents, and the researches, by the way of research, we are getting our quality publications. So my advice to all the young researchers will be, apart from following ethical research, you should come out with quality publications. And of course, a note of caution, our publications and our research should be free from any sort of plagiarism. So this is all what I wish to say. With these words, I once again thank our today's resource person, Madam Aarti Devi.
Thank you so much, sir.
For accepting our invitation to be a resource person for this workshop and enlightening our participants. Thank you very much, madam. And I also thank the organizers for giving me a chance to interact with you all by chairing the session. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Doris sir. That just really, I got opportunity to listen you very carefully at that moment because this is a session is going on over here. So it's nicely presented by ma'am, and you
Thank you, sir.
really very nicely presented the preside over the function also. Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam.
And
Thank you.
again, I wish you happy Republic Day, ma'am, to you and to all.
Thank you. Wish you same, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Who is delivering vote of thanks?
Bambode sir. Bambode sir here. Bambode sir.
Now I request Dr. Kumud Chaudhary ma'am to express the vote of thanks. Chaudhary ma'am.
Sir, if nobody is available, you can deliver the vote.
She has unmuted, madam. Is video also and mic. हाँ, चौधरी मैम. चौधरी मैम.
Okay.
हाँ.
Good afternoon, everybody. I extend my greetings on today's Republic Day to all the dignitaries and participants of the sessions. And Dr. Kumud Chaudhary, I would like to express my vote of thanks on the behalf of our institute and organizing committee of this workshop. I am immensely thankful to President Dr. Mahendra Dhote sir, co-op member of Shri Shivaji Education Society and principal of Shri Shivaji Science College, Nagpur, for sharing his valuable time and inspiring us by his thoughts. My gratitude towards our speaker, Dr. Aarti Devi, for sharing her knowledge on research ethics. It was very helpful to us, madam. I need to mention my deepest sense of appreciation towards our principal, Dr. Smita Thakre madam, for her constant support and guidance. I would like to thank to all the participants, research students, faculty members to be present here and making this session successful. I am thankful to the organizing committee, convener Dr. Bambude sir and co-convener Dr. Manda Nandurkar madam. So, with the permission of the chair, I would like to conclude my vote of thanks. Thank you, madam, and all the members.
Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Dhore sir.
Thank you.
Aarti ma'am, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for inviting me in this session. Thank you so much. I'm very glad to be a part of it.
वेलकम. थँक्यू मॅम. सीमंतिनी मॅम जॉईन झालेले आहेत. कुमुदिनी
मॅडम
मॅडम.
मला माझं हे नाही दिसत आहे स्क्रीन म्हणजे
हो आम्हाला दिसताय तुम्ही.
ओके ओके देन.
Yeah, Manda ma'am, I think I cannot start my video because you need to give me a permission.
येस मॅम, येस मॅम.
Yeah. So can I supposed to start my presentation or its time is there?
प्लीज वेट सम टाइम मॅम. कुमुदिनी मॅडम.
Okay. Good afternoon to all the participants and the chair of the session. Good afternoon. I welcome all you in this second session of today's workshop on research methodology, which is a very in the seventh day. This is seventh day. I would first of all I would pay my tribute to Honorable Dr. Punjabrao Deshmukh and Matoshree Vimalabai Deshmukh. In this session, we have Professor Dr. Devidas Bambole as president with us. He is also convener of this national workshop. He has more than 30 years of teaching experience and a good researcher also. He had his PhD on the topic gas sensors based on catalytic oxides for his PhD in the Faculty of Physics. He also completed 2 minor projects and also research guide in the Physics faculty. He have published 12 research publications, of which 4 have H index and 5 papers have high index. He also authored 3 books and organized various workshops and a national level seminar. So I welcome you, sir. Today we have Professor Seemantini Madam Nakil as keynote speaker. Madam is from the field of architecture and she had completed her education from architecture field. Presently, she is working as a head of department of architecture at D.Y. Patil School of Architecture, Pune. And before, she had also worked at institutions like MIT, Aurangabad, and SMAID at New Vallabh Vidyanagar. She is practicing as an architecture in the Nandakani Mahajan and Associates, Aurangabad, in Karen's Private Limited, Bangalore, and have her own practice in partnership with Shri Associates, Aurangabad. And she is working on many residential and interior projects and commercial projects, and working with REACH Foundation in conservation of historical monuments. And she is member and life member of Indian Society for Technical Education, Council of Architecture, New Delhi, and member of IIA chapter Aurangabad, member of IUDC Urban Design Council Bangalore chapter, member of IIID Carator Vallabh Vidyanagar. She have also competed in the projects like Brooklyn intersection design and Cyprus reinterpretation of coffee house. She also have some research papers and published research papers in national and international level also. So I would like to invite Professor Seemantini Nakil, Madam, to start her session.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Kumud Chaudhary, ma'am, for a wonderful introduction of mine. Though I am a different field from all of you, it is basically I am from architecture field. Presently, I am into academics as well as I am in the field of professional also. I am running my business and interior design. I basically used to do lots of interior projects also. And as my passion, I'm conducting my projects as well as into academical field. And I did my PhD in gender inclusive cities from Chandigarh Chitkara University. So I first of all going to start my presentation. I'm very thankful for Shri Shivaji Education Society, Matoshree, Vimalabai, Deshmukh, Mahavidyalaya, Amravati for giving me such wonderful invitation to present in front of you regarding the research. So I want to switch on my video because due to the bandwidth, if it is okay. So I want to screen share my presentation.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
You can share your screen, ma'am.
Yes, sir. So I hope my screen is visible to all of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, madam.
Yeah. My topic of presentation today is all about the introduction to research types and the methodology. Though this research is the field where it is now one of the important subject for all the field, either it may be architecture or it may be science, arts, any of the field, the research is very much important. Even in the NEP 2020 also, they are promoting more research-oriented subjects as well as they are promoting people or faculties or academics, any other person to take this research more and more. So that's why the research is one of the very much important subject for all of you in all the field. So my topic of my structure of today's presentation is all about, I'm talking about the research and the qualities of the research, types of research and research methods versus research methodology. Research, and I'm briefing more on the research methodology part. And after that, there are various data collection typologies. And finally, I want to focus on the types of research instruments. So basically, before going to start with my methodology and the methods, I want to little bit give all of us knows what is research, but still I want to start up with my basic thing, that is what is research. Research, the words itself is indicating it is a research. We know something, something is there. We want to know more about that particular subject. So that's why it is research. It is nothing but it is a researching the things. It is basically an attitude of inquiry to find more related data or things related to our topic. You have to do inquiries as well as inquiries as a part of your data collection, and it is an attempt to elicit facts. It is you to do a research, you need to understand the facts through the observation, interviews, and certain various methods. From that, you need to collect the data related to your topic, and that could be analyzed and that could be put forward as a part of a research. And it is a systematic and scholarly application of the scientific method. In most of the research are following some scientific method, most are not following the scientific aspects of the research. That could be a part of this research. It is a state of mind, which is nothing but it will The research of the thing will differ from a person to person. One topic a person may perceive as differently. One may perceive in one way and another may perceive in another way. That's why the research is nothing but it is a state of mind. And basically the overall conclusion of this research is nothing but that is a journey from known to unknown, which we know and we want to know more about that. That is what it is nothing but a journey from known to unknown. So what are the qualities of good research? One is it is very much systematic. We cannot do a research randomly that we have selected that topic, finally we can conclude. That will not happen. It is a systematic way, method, things has to be followed as a part of this good research. And the second one is it is always to be controlled. There are variables are to be, different variables are to be identified, and it is always a control of the one of the researcher hand, how the research is to be proceeded. And the third quality of the good research is nothing but it is to be very logical. A random guessing or intuitions or any other guessing are to be avoided. It is to be very logically, it is to be put forward as a part of this good research quality. And the next is it is a empirical. What are the data fact is to be collected from the external mode. It is to be relevant to your research topic. That's why it is the external validity is to be required as a part of this good research. And the next one is it is a replicable. It is verified by replicating the study. Always it is to be replicable. And now always the research is to be self-correcting. We cannot be, a topic is not to be very rigid that it cannot be changed or it cannot be taken foot forward. It is not to be rigid. It is always self-recorrecting. So these are what the good qualities of the research while we are going to conduct the research topic. So there are various types of the research in the field of research. That is, the research types are to be based on the one is the purpose, the second one is the process, and the third one is the outcome. And the research types on the basis of the purpose are, that is, the descriptive research. The second typology is the analytical research, and the third typology is exploratory research, and the fourth one is the predictive research. We will go one by one, these all typologies. So under the part of this descriptive research, it is always aims to accurately portray and analyze a specific phenomenon or group by observing and documenting existing data or the condition. Always the descriptive will ask the questions such as what, why, when, who, how, and all. So, for example, if you want to do a research on any of the persons, you need to describe him. The character of the person is to be described. It will not be analyzed much, but the description in the term of what, why, when is to be put forward as a part of the descriptive research. Before choosing your research topic, you always understand that either your research topic falls under the category of descriptive research, or it is analytical research, or it is other typology of the research. Based on this typology of the research, you always need to frame your research topic. So the main aim of this research is description of the characteristics of a phenomena at present. This research has no control over the variable, only have to report what is happening or what had happened. It always, if somebody wants to do a research on worry, then you have to narrate it like a story, how the worry will go, how, from which place it will start and where it will go, how it will lead, who are the participants in the worry, and maximum what aged people are a part of this worry. So such kind of a topic is to be part of this descriptive research. And the second typology of this research is, that is the analytical research. The analytical research is always based on the analysis of the data which you have collected. This research mainly carrying out analysis on a phenomena which involves secondary data. So in the forthcoming my slides, I will be explaining about what are the primary and the secondary data and how it is to be collected. So under the part of analysis, so you have to analyze. If suppose one person wants to do a research on the classroom attendance, you need to first of all understand the number of students, how many girls and the boys, and what time the class will start and at what time the class will end. Why there will be a failing of this attendance is decreasing day by day. So such things have to be analyzed, and it is to be analyzed as a part of chart or as a part of your pie charts. So after understanding this, you need to identify the solution of it. Why the declining of class students is happening and how it is to be improved. So this is what the analytical research, where the detailed analysis of things is things will take place. After that, data is to be collected and the research is to be taken place under the part of this analytical research. And the next typology of this research is that is exploratory research. Exploratory research is nothing but it is a kind of, it involves generation of new ideas and assumption, development of tentative theories of hypothesis, but conclusion cannot be drawn even though it provides direction for the future research. The exploratory research, which is nothing but you are having some of the topic related to construction material or the construction building typologies. In that particular typology, you need to you are knowing that topic. For example, you know about that topic, but you want to know more about that topic. You are exploring. So something, a little data is available for this. You want to know more about on that particular topic. So you are exploring more on that particular topic. So that is what the exploratory research. And based on the research, there you need to first of all draw the hypothesis. And the hypothesis is nothing but it is a notional idea. The things are to be conducted in such way, and firstly you need to get an answer of that thing. This will be coming in this way. That is what the hypothesis. But here you need to first of all draw the hypothesis for the exploratory research. The things are known, you want to know more about that. That will falls under the category of the exploratory research. And the predictive research. The next typology of this is this is the predictive research. Seeks to forecast the likelihood of a particular phenomenon occurring in given circumstances. It seeks to answer such questions. Will changing the start time of lecture? It is what all dependent on the predictive research is all dependent on the prediction of the things. If you want to understand the classroom attendance phenomena in that particular classes, you need to, if I do something else, if I will change the timing of the classroom, is my classroom attendance will be increased? Or if I change the sitting arrangement of the classroom, is my classroom attendance will be increased? Or if I involve some faculties in that particular, other faculties in that particular classroom, is my attendance will be increased? Such kind of a predictions are to be involved as a part of predictive research. And there is alternative phenomenon of alternative hypothesis or alternative notional ideas to be incorporated as a part of this predictive research. So these are the four typologies of the research typology. And based on based on the process, there are two typologies of the research. One is the qualitative research, and the another one is the quantitative research. The qualitative research are mainly a kind of a qualitative qualities. it could be character, or it could be phenomenon, or it could be principles. Those are explained in as a part of the qualitative research. The quality cannot be measured, but it can be observed. So the qualitative research can be expressed if we, for example, if we want to understand the continuous internal assessment system of the college or the schools, first of all, you need to understand the process. The first of all, academic calendar is to be prepared, or after that the lesson plans are to be made, after that the course files are to be prepared. So these are all the part of the qualitative research. The qualities is to be mentioned in that particular part of the research. And when we are talking about the quantitative research, as a part of this quantitative research, the quantity is to be mentioned. If you want to do, it is always to be a number which can be measurable. Either it could be a number of students present in the classrooms, or it could be a number of admissions which had happened in the overall college, or if you want to do any research on the kind of a age group of these students, or age group of the girls or the boys, such kind of where the measurable things are to be involved, that we will call it as the quantitative research. So this is what the part of as a part of this process, the typology of research is as a part of the process, the quantitative and the qualitative research. Now, there are another typology of this research that is based on the outcome category. The research is to be, the research types are to be applied or the action research, or it could be and it is fundamental or the basic or the pure research. Applied or action research are basically tackle the issues. So, for example, where during a time of corona, all are behind a kind of in search of the vaccination, which can cure the disease. So the research is to be experimental. The research is to be applied on some of the animals, and after that the vaccination is to be prepared, where the issue-based research are to be conducted as a part of this applied or the action research. And the experimental research also kind of as a part of this applied or the action research. And the second typology is the fundamental or the basic or the pure research. Pure research, it is very focused research. Under this part of this pure research, it is very focused on certain point, where you will be analyzing the data, collecting the data and analyzing, and it is to be a fundamental are to be covered as a part of this outcome based research, where outcome is required, where outcome is generated, and that could be applicable on the current issues. So this is a part of as a part of this outcome based research. And now these we understand about, in the previous slide, we understood all about the research typology based on the outcome, based on the process, based on the purpose. So now we will let us move into a research method versus research methodology. And method is nothing but it refers to the method, how the data is to be collected, analyzed, and which is to be taken care as a part of your research. Basically, the method is nothing but the method, and there will be a hairline difference between the method and the methodology. The method refers to the researcher used in performing research operations. For example, collection of data, analysis of data. It means description, justification of methods. It is way to solve research problems systematically and logically. By going through certain method, you can collect the data and apply it to the research topic. And now there will be a research methodology. It may be understood as a science of studying how research is done scientifically. In it, we study the various steps that are generally adopted by the researcher in studying his research problem among the logic behind them. So you need to go for certain methodology to overcome the research topic. So now I will be describing a little bit about the research methodology. Basically, there are various steps or the methodology is applied for doing the research work. One is the identification of the research problem. So anybody which want to proceed for the research, he has to understand first of all what is the problem of the research. And after that, you need to always understand the second point is the review of the literature related to the identification of identified problem. So the literature is nothing but it could be the literature is to be collected from the website, or it could be collected from the journals. Whoever has done on that particular topic the research, you need to go through that what exactly the problem is there, and who have made an effort to tackle such kind of a problem. First of all, the second part is you need to always review of the literature. And the third is formulate the hypothesis. You need to first of all formulate the hypothesis for it. So, and notional hypothesis is nothing but it is a notional idea. Is the things is to be done in this way? That is what the notional idea. The hypothesis is to be formulated for the identified research problem. Once after that, you need to design a research. Designing a research is very much important point. The designing research is nothing but either you want to go for a collection of the primary data collection or the secondary data collection, the questionnaire to be prepared, and the sampling is to be done, and which kind of a population you need to target to collect the data related to your research. So the first of all, you need to figure out the systematic designing of the research is to be done. Once after doing that, you need to start the data collection. So data collection is where to collect the data, how the data. Sometimes it may happen that while doing the research, it is very difficult to get the data as a part of your research. So you have to first of all identify how the data is, who are the targeted population, how the sample is to be collected, what are the variables are involved in that, and after that the data is to be collected in a various manners. In the forthcoming slides also I will be explaining what are the typologies of the collection of the data for your research. So once after the data is to be collected, data analysis and interpretation. So whatever data you have collected, that data is to be analyzed very systematically, and the interpretation is to be done either through a chart, pie chart, or flow chart, or is to be a kind of a by indexing or by color coding. That interpretation is to be interpreted the data collected. And finally, you need to go for the final report and the presentation. So this is what the overall circle of the methodology of the method and the steps or the methodology of the doing the research of your identified topic or the identified problems. So now, under the umbrella of the research proposal, the first of all, for the research proposal, one is the research methodology is to be systematically done. And once after the methodology is finalized, you need to go for the data collection and the primary sources. Either through the primary sources and the secondary sources, you can collect the data, and that is to be taken forward. So this is what the research proposal is nothing but it is an umbrella for all these method data and the sources which is need to be collected. So proposal is to be prepared, and once after the proposal, you need to start understanding the things whatever you are collecting. That's why exterior validity is very much important. You need to collect the data either to observation or interviews. There are certain typologies through that you can prepare a proposal. So now there are types of data collection. One is the primary data collection and the secondary data collection. Primary data are those which are collected fresh and for the first time, and thus happen to be original in character and known as the primary. The word itself is indicating it is a primary data collection is nothing but the collection of the data very freshly. So that you are going to the I mean, if somebody wants to do kind of a research on the BRTS BRTS on the road, which is now recently proposed in most of the cities. So whether it is working in some part or some of the other part. So one primary data is where you are going to the place and you are talking to the people who are using it, or you are talking it to the transport authority, and you directly go there and you directly take a picture and you directly measure it, you directly collect the data, and that is what the primary data that is a fresh data which nobody has collected, you have collected. And the secondary data are those which have been collected by someone else. Secondary data is those which already somebody has documented it or collected it, and that you are using it as a part of your research. Already somebody have done on that particular topic. So it could be the secondary data you can take it from the website, or you can take it from the journals, or you can take it from any newspaper, or a kind of anybody have done the research on that, the data is to be collected. Somebody has done that one, and you are referring it. So that reference is very much, referencing is very much important from whichever source you are collecting the secondary data. Okay. So now under the data collection, you need to go for a survey. And you need to have to collect the data, you need to go for a survey, and you need to take interviews by targeting certain group of population. Either you can consider the age group, or you can consider the based on the height of the people, or you can based on the gender of the people, you can you can categorize the population. From that you can pick a sample, from that you can conduct interviews with that particular people. And the observation of program implementation, and particularly you can observe and collect the data. And now during a part of data analysis, that is the content analysis is very much important part of the research. That is thematic coding, summary statistics, or time series analysis, or the parametric test. So these are the certain way of the analyzed data is to be represented. Thematic coding is kind of a by taking a certain group of a people for X age group, you are coding something color in that manner. For Y people, you are coding something like that, and for a Z people, you are coding something. But through the thematic coding typology, you can collect the data. And once after that, summary statistics. Statistical representation is another part of the research representation, where whatever the data you are collecting is to be statistically analyzed, and that is to be put forward in as a in the form of the quantitative analysis or quantitative analysis. And the next is the time series analysis, based on the time at what particular timing you have collected the data. That timing is to be mentioned through the graph, and that is to be analyzed. And now the next is the parametric test. In a parametric way, the data is to be analyzed. So these are the various data collection techniques, and these are the various data analysis typologies for your particular topic of research. So now there are a collection of primary data. There are several methods of collecting primary data, particularly in surveys and descriptive researchers. In descriptive research, we obtain primary data either through observation or through direct communication with respondent in one form to or another, or through the personal interviews. In meanwhile, I will explain you what are the typologies of the data collection. So already in the previous slides, I already mentioned you about the quantitative and the qualitative. Quantitative is always in the form of the quantity, that is kind of a age group, numbers or weight, etc., which is to be measured and it is to be represented. That is what the quantitative data collection. And qualitative, what it is, a character of a person which cannot be measurable, and that is to be either the pictures which are indicating either blue, red, and yellow, which is to be qualitatively these can be indicated. So there are various primary research methods and the techniques. Primary research is quantitative data and the qualitative data. Under the quantitative data, the surveys that could be personal interviews through mail, in-house self-administered, telephone, fax, email, and through the web also you can collect the data. So the next is through the experiments, mechanical observation, simulation. Through certain experiments also you can collect the data for the primary as a part of primary researcher. So the qualitative data focus groups, individual depth interviews, human observer, and the case studies. To these typologies or the techniques you can collect the primary data is to be collected. So now the collection of the secondary data collection. Secondary data collection, I already explained you about it is somebody has done, and such kind of a data is to be collected as a part of the secondary data collection. And in the secondary data collection, it is very essential to mention the source from which place or from which author you have collected the data. So the data, what are the different typologies of the secondary data collection? That is data gathered and recorded by someone else prior to and for the purpose other than the current project. Secondary data is the data that has been collected from another purpose. It involves less cost, time, and the efforts. Secondary data is data that is being reused, usually in a different context. For example, data from the book and all those things where you not necessary to go all the time to the particular place. The secondary data is to be collected from the different source of this one. So there are various typologies of the data collection I have mentioned here. One is through observation method also you can collect the data. By whatever the research topic you are, based on your research topic which you have chosen, the relevant data is to be collected through the observation method. Only by sitting and a particular setting of the timings, that is structured way of observation method, where you are collecting the data in a particular timing wise. If you will design your collection of the data in a particular timing, that is morning 8 o'clock, I want to collect data from 8 days, and that data is to be collected and that is to be analyzed. And afternoon 12 o'clock, you have to observe at that 12 o'clock only, every for 7 days, 5 days, you have to set those 10, and that observation method, the data is to be and the analyzed. So I already told you that through the observation method, there are two typologies. One is the structured and the unstructured. Structured means, as I told you, by setting up certain days, by setting up certain timing, you can collect the data. Unstructured is what suddenly you are not setting up anything in your mind. You are going and collecting the data. That data is to be taken as a part of your research, and that data is to be documented. So what are the structured versus unstructured? Structured observation, researchers identifies beforehand which behaviors are to be observed and recorded. So it could be very much structured. And the unstructured observation, no restriction is placed on what the observer would note. All behavior in the episode under the study is monitored. So there is no structure it for randomly you are going and observing the things what you want to collect for your data. And that is to be documented, and that is to be taken as a part of your research. So now, finally, there are observation is to be in a two typologies, that is the participant observation and the non-participant observation. So the data used to be collected through participant observation. It means that you being a part of that particular event or the event, you can collect the data. If we are doing a research on the Bari, this thing, so if you become a part of that particular Vari, so you can collect the data. A non-participant observation is only you are observing the things, what is happening, at what time Vari is to be taken place, and from which place it will take and where it will reach, in between what is happening. Such kind of a, by not participating, by standing at different place, you can collect the data. That is what the non-participant observation. So now there are various typologies of the research instruments. These are a part of methodology of doing the research. One is the questionnaire. So questionnaire is to be prepared, which is to be very precise, and which always, while designing the questionnaire, you always have to take care. The simple questions are to be in the preliminary stage, and afterwards the more whatever in detail, the personal data which you want to collect from the interviewer, you need to put those questions in gradually. So the questionnaire is to be designed very systematically, and through that you can collect the data. And before going to circulate this questionnaire, you have to very much well designed research methodology is to be taken care. And this questionnaire is to be floated to the different population of and samples, and through that the data is to be collected. And the second one is the checklist. The checklist is what, while going to collect the data or while going to apply certain methodology, you have to have certain checklist regarding that. So on the basis that once you will complete those particular point, you have to tick and you have to collect data regarding that. And the third one is the distribution. Distribution is what you can collect through the data through the distribution method. And the next one is the interviews through the through the telephonic interviews or through the physical interview techniques. You can collect the data for your particular topic which you have chosen. And the research fifth type of instrument is, that is the observation method, where I already explained in the previous slide too. There are various observation methods are there. By applying such typologies of the observation method, you can collect the data for your relevant topic. And the sixth one is the sixth instrument is the records. The records are nothing but it could be a government records, or it could be a kind of a documented records, which you can get it from the authentic source, from the authorities, and those kind of a records you can collect your data. Sometimes it may happen that you have to refer certain records, guidelines, or bylaws, or rules, regulation that could be available from the records which is from the competent authority. Such kind of a records are to be collected, and that is to be taken as a part of your research analysis. And next part is the experimental approach. As I told you previously, through certain experiment also you can you can collect the data. For example, if somebody want to test the material and material behavior or the characteristics, so maybe you can take that. For example, brick is the material. If you want to do a research on the brick, you need to understand the characteristics or the climatical aspects of that particular material. You are taking that material. If you want to test the weight of the material, you will be putting a weight gradually day by day and observing what is happening with that particular material. And if you want to observe the climatical behavior of that particular material, once the brick is to be first kept in the water, and you have to observe how much quantity of the water it is absorbing. Or if you can keep that material in different climatical exposure, what you need to always observe what is happening with that, and afterwards you are experimenting over it through the different aspects. And the next one is the next instrument of this research is a survey approach. You can do a survey by preparing the questionnaire and all those things. To the survey, you can collect the instruments. So these are the various basic methods and the methodology to collect the data for the research. And I thank you so much for the Matoshree Vimalabai Deshmukh Mahavidyalaya Amravati for giving me such a wonderful opportunity to present forward the certain research things. If you are having any questions, you can ask.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Kumudini, ma'am.
Thank you, madam, for such a thoughtful and very deep, knowledgeable lecture to us. Now I request Professor Dr. Bambal sir for his presidential speech of the session.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir.
Before I start my presidential speech, I pay my homage to Dr. Punjabrao Deshmukh and Matoshree Vimalabai Deshmukh. Today's speaker, Dr. Seemantini Nakil Madam, Architecture Department, Devi Patil College, Akurdi, Pune. He has thrown the light on the topic Introduction to Research and Methodology. She starts from what is the research and go in detail and explain the types of research and the types of methodologies used in the data collection. There are the number of types of research here she has explained in detail. Some types are fundamental research, applied research, casual research, classification research, and he also explained about the research depending upon the different mottos, that is the purpose, process, outcomes, and she also explained in detail the methods and research, what is the method and what is meant by the research methodology. She also explained the research methodology in detail, that is about the methods of the data collection in the social science research. She also explained the different methods of the data collection, that is the data collection method, that is the observation method. In that observation method, she explained the structured observation and unstructured observation, and also the other types of the research instruments, that is the different type of the methodologies used in the data collection, that is the experimental method, questionnaire or survey method, case study method, interview method, observation method, and secondary data collection analysis method, and explain in detail about these two points, that is the types of the research and the types of the methodology used in the research. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I conclude here.
Yeah.
Now, I would like to invite Professor Dr. Manda Nandurkar Madam for vote of thanks.
Thank you, Kumudini ma'am. First of
Very
all,
nice
I
presentation.
greet Dr. Panjabrao Deshmukh, alias Bahusaheb Deshmukh, and Matoshree Vimalabai Deshmukh, today's chairperson, Dr. Devidas Bambode sir. Thank you so much, sir. And thank you very much, Ma'am Seemantini ma'am, for
Thank you,
your
ma'am.
beautiful and insightful guidance. बहुत अच्छा लगा, आपने बहुत अच्छे से प्रेजेंटेशन किया है। और
Thank you,
हमारे
ma'am.
प्रिंसिपल मैम, उन्हें भी मैं यहाँ पर बहुत बंडल ऑफ थैंक्स देना चाहूंगी, क्योंकि मैम तो यहाँ पीआर टीम विजिट पर है और तो भी वहां से समय निकाल कर वो ज्वाइन हो रहे हैं, क्योंकि उन्हें भी चिंता है कि ये कैसे हो रहा होगा। मैम आपका भी यहाँ पर बहुत थैंक यू। और I thank all those who joining this workshop. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
सीमांतनी मैम, बहुत अच्छा लगा, बहुत अच्छे से प्रेजेंटेशन किया आपने।
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Seemantini, you have
Thanks.
delivered so nicely. Just this session should be in the beginning, I think.
Yeah.
It's totally on the research as a whole. In brief, again, this just a recap, I think so. It's a recap of all.
Yeah. Yes.